Good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode on Vern's Valley. Today, we're kind of be hitting a little different topic, kind of on weather still, but we'll be targeting morel mushrooms. We're getting to the second week of April, and in about a month or so, these little devious things will start popping out of the ground. So I just wanted to make a little video on some tips what can help you find some morel mushrooms this year. So if you like what you watch, please like, subscribe, comment, share it, whatever you got to do. Stay tuned as we get into some tips for your mushroom season this year. Alright guys, tip number one, soil temperature. Soil temperature obviously is the key ingredient to making mushrooms or any type of vegetation grow in the woods this time of year. So obviously you can see outside the grass is starting to turn green, some of the trees are starting to bud, things are starting to come alive. Some obviously clear signs that spring is here or is around the corner. For morel mushrooms, the key temperature is between 50 and 60 degrees. That is your sweet spot. Once that starts to happen, you really start to see things take off in the woods. No more cold snaps, no nothing like that. That's where I really start to key or hone in on soil temperatures. So here, Minnesota has the Department of Agriculture. This is the 6-inch soil layer temperature reading. So some spots won't have readings. I know Cortland doesn't have nothing. I know Wasika, I think, was just below 0 for temperature readings. But we can go down here by Faribault and just click on this. You guys can do this too. As of yesterday and today, that soil temp was just around 44 degrees. But as you can see last week, it was kind of getting to 42. And you can see here this cold snap that came in. And then obviously with the cold snap we're enduring right now will also hinder those temps. But with a nice warm up coming this weekend, that should help out quite a bit. And hopefully it stays that way. So we can go over here, over by Waterville. It's actually Morristown. And they're just about 39 degrees and coming down. So especially with the low temps this morning, I bet that hindered it down quite a bit. But still a ways to go, guys. Around 40 degrees right now with the soil temperatures, which is not the greatest. Japers. We want a temperature reading of the whole United States. We can go over here though. Where are we at? Just north of Worthington? Look at that. Let's see what they got over here in southwestern Minnesota. 46 degrees. See, they're getting there. But I want it to be consistently in the 50s and 60s. So when it comes down at nighttime, I want this to stay in the 50s and then go back up into the 60s, So that's about tip one, guys. That's about it. You can come here for the soil temperature readings. But yeah, that's tip number one, soil temps. Very key to honing in on morel mushroom growth. Tip number two, southern facing slopes, right? So obviously it's pretty self-explanatory, but even though sometimes I get messed up out in the woods. So a nice map I use all the time for hunting, shed hunting, fishing the river, anything is the Onyx maps. Great platform to use for anything. Tracking, hunting with your dogs, anything like that. Fishing, they just updated their fishing tools, all goods of sort stuff on this platform. So anyways, I have this in a hybrid topographic reading and then just a regular satellite view. I also have the public land features set up, and obviously you can see my little tags of where I've been. So but basically I will show you where to look for. I will go to any public land and just walk around. It's a good time to walk around with the dogs. It's a good time to find out new areas. I love it. It's a good exploring time. But anyways, we will start off. Where should we start here? Should we go to Land of Memories? Let's go to 7 Mile. Alright guys, so 7 Mile Creek, not sure if you know, it's just crossed from the Minnesota River, just north of Mankato by like 5 minutes or so, but it is a public hiking path. It's got a lot of trails in it, as you can see, but again, I have the topographic map on feature. So as you can see here, these trails are everywhere. And how this map is set up, we are facing north, and obviously the bottom of the screen is south, west, east, you guys get it. So I want to find a southern facing slope, right? So anything on this side, on the northern side of this public area, is considered the southern facing slope. So back in here, as you can see how this turns, this is considered a west, almost like a southwest facing slope. Back in here, this is a south facing slope. This over here, my mouse is also a south facing slope. So basically, you guys just want to find a southern facing slope. That's where the sun hits the most all the time during the day. It's where the peak heating of the sun hits. That's where you find a lot of your morel mushrooms. Now, if you were to go on this southern side and try to hit the northern facing slopes, a lot of those sides see a lot of the shadows, a lot of the cooler temperatures. They might not see, the peak heating of the sun as much as obviously the southern facing slopes. But you might get a few dandy patches of morels, but basically I tend to stick forward or stick to southern facing slopes. So that'll help you guys out a lot. Warm temperatures in the soil and southern facing slope. Alright guys, so tip number 3 is dying elm trees or dead elm trees. Now, I don't have any good pictures of myself or any good videos to identify or show you what a dead elm tree looks like, but obviously you go on Google like I just did and type in dying elm trees. So that's tip number 3 is a dying elm tree, it's like the slippery bark that falls off. You can kind of see here in this picture here, that slippery bark kind of falling off. So those chunks will fall on the ground and obviously decompose, and all those nutrients and minerals, all that good shit, will be in the ground waiting for fungi, the morel mushrooms or any type of fungus in that case, to uptake those nutrients and then do such a thing. So yeah, guys, that's pretty self-explanatory. This is another good representation of a elm tree. That slippery bark falling off. My good friend and his old man gave me a good tale going out in the woods mushroom hunting. Pay as much attention as you do to the ground, to the tops of the trees, because your first indication is no leaves or minimal leaves, a dying elm tree, right? So when I go out in the woods, I'll keep an eye on the tops. I'll look for the dying, little to no leaves, and then I will correlate it down to the base of the tree, and then identify if that tree is an elm or not. If it's dead, obviously dying, I will still check it for mushrooms, because obviously all that good nutrients is getting into the soil, so something's got to grow, right? You can see the ferns down there growing next to the trees, so those plants are uptaking those nutrients. So again, pretty self-explanatory. You guys can look it up yourself, how to identify elm trees. That's another pretty good indication right there. Kind of like a veiny space in the bark almost. But yeah, you guys Google, watch some YouTube videos. You click on this too. There's some pretty good videos. I might have to make another video while I'm out in the woods finding mushrooms, just to help everyone identify what an elm tree looks like. That's a pretty good representation too. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for step 3 or tip 3, step 3, whatever you want to call it. Good dead or dying elm trees to help the ground produce these lovely delicacy mushrooms. So. Alright guys, that's about the 3 tips I got for you. Just pretty basics to get you started. I'd like to make another video when I'm out actually hunting morels, to give you guys more of a visualization and an understanding of what to actually look for. Obviously in my background you can see the picture of the morels underneath some green vegetation. So I just like to hang out in cool, wet, moist areas, obviously where fungi like to grow. So if you see nice green vegetation out in the woods you're walking, don't be afraid to go, veer off the path and check underneath that vegetation, because you never know what you could find. Another last little minute trick, if you start to see, I forget the mushroom, what it's called, pheasant backs, there you go. If you start to see pheasant backs out in the woods, it's also a very good indication of fungi obviously growing in the woods. So that's another good indicator I like to look for as well. Obviously, rain is a very important key factor as well. We have to have enough moisture in the ground to produce those fungi. So we've gotten about 2 or 3 inches of rain in the last week or so down here in southern Minnesota in certain spots. So now I just needed the sun to warm everything up and hopefully to stay warm, and we'll start to get some mushrooms. So stay tuned, guys, for the next episode. Like I said, hopefully we'll get out in the woods and we'll do another video and a little bit more of a visualization. So have a good rest of your week, and see you later.